Breaking news at this hour, the dignified transfer of 6 U.S. service members happening soon at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. It is not being aired live, but we will show it to you on tape delay. Joining me now, Democratic Congressman from Massachusetts, Seth Moulton. He serves on the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, it's always good to have you, but particularly today, sir, because you are a combat veteran with 4 tours of duty in Iraq. These dignified transfers are never easy to watch as the deceased family takes part in them. But what goes through your mind during these moments, and how does it hit in this war in particular?
What goes through my mind is that these are great Americans who have just lost not just their lives, but their futures. And I think about their kids because I think today about how my 5-year-old and 7-year-old would feel if I didn't come home someday. So we're getting all these death threats in Congress and everything. And so this is coming face to face with the human reality that war is brutal. The carnage is real, and it has real human costs that these families are coming to grips with now, and really only the families and fellow troops can understand.
It is a sobering thought. But let's move to what NBC is reporting, which is that Trump has privately shown some serious interest in U.S. ground troops in Iran. What is your reaction to what that scenario might look like?
I mean, it would be terrible. I mean, Alex, I remember being in Iraq, talking with fellow Marines about what a mess this was in the Iraq War, but saying literally, thank God we're not in Iran. Thank God Bush is not trying to do this with Iran, because that would be on another level. I mean, the fact that when Iran got involved in the Iraq War, I was under fire in Najaf by Iranian mortars, according to reports. Then we had explosively foreign penetrators, particularly devastating roadside bombs that came from Iran. And the casualties went up a lot. I remember actually talking to fellow Marines in 2004 and saying, wow, these mortars are so much more accurate than the ones we were getting from the Iraqis during the invasion. So the point is that this could be really tough and go really bad. And as proud as I am of our troops, they better have a very clear mission and a worthwhile goal if they're going to go into Iran. And we have yet to hear that. Days into this war, we've yet to hear any of that, a serious justification for risking and losing American lives from the President of the United States.
Listen, I add to that, what I always think about is an exit strategy. Please have an exit strategy and a timeline and all of that. I know you agree with that, but I want to ask about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and his tenor during this war. So here's what he said when a U.S. submarine struck an Iranian ship. Take a listen.
Combat ineffective, decimated, destroyed, defeated, pick your adjective. In fact, last night, we sunk their prize ship, the Soleimani. Looks like POTUS got him twice. An American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death.
How do you describe his tone? Does this touting of American military superiority lack, I'm going to use the word seriousness in a sense, but there's another word and I can't figure out what I want to say, but there's something missing?
Well, first of all, Pete Hegseth lacks seriousness, period, just as a person. And that's a dangerous person to have involved with decisions involving American lives. I mean, his callous disregard for the troops. Remember, there was a press conference a few days ago where he attacked the media for asking about the soldiers who were killed in action. Attacked the media right before, by the way, Chairman Kaine got on with the uniform and spoke next and started with praising the American heroes who lost their lives. So Hegseth is out of touch with his generals. He's out of touch with the reality of war. And he seems to think this is a video game. I mean, the White House released some montage set to video game music. And if that's the attitude they take towards our troops, then we better be prepared for a lot more casualties.
Can I ask you, what is the purpose of these video game, Hollywood film spliced messages that they're putting out? Why?
Because I can't say. I mean, I can't get in the minds of these people, thank God. But the callous disregard that they have for our troops, they seem to want to spread with the American people. So that when more casualties come out of this war, I don't know, maybe they think the American people will be inured to it, that they won't worry about it, that they won't care. I mean, I certainly saw in Congress this past week a lot of Republicans who privately have a lot of questions about this war just go ahead and vote against the War Powers Act to constrain it. I mean, we had an Armed Services Committee classified briefing that was so disillusioning. I went up to the chairman afterwards and said, I didn't think I could be more disillusioned, but I am. And there were a lot of Republicans expressing similar views. An hour later, they all voted to just give a blank permission slip to the president of the United States. So he is clearly getting people, including people in his own party who are serving in Congress today, to just not care about the fact that Americans are going to die when this continues with no plan, no strategy, no clear goals, and to your point, Alex, no end game whatsoever.
Yeah, listen, either they don't care or they have a lack of courage to stand up to him. But let me ask you quickly about the Wall Street Journal, which reports the U.S. likely hit that school attached to an Iranian military compound. Even staunch supporter of Trump's Laura Ingraham says the military should address it. Should the Defense Department officials acknowledge or explain what happened there?
Of course. And it needs to be investigated so that it never happens again. If this proves true, it is probably, after 20 years of war in the Middle East, the single worst incident of innocent people being killed, the single worst civilian casualty incident. And it's kids. It's little girls. I mean, where is the humanity in people like Hegseth and Trump to just understand? I mean, Trump has daughters.
Yeah.
He's got to understand that these are little kids who've lost their lives because of their incompetence and their clearly callous disregard for the realities of war.
Congressman Seth Moulton, thank you so much, my friend. Always good to talk with you despite these circumstances.